Good evening. Thank everyone for coming out this afternoon, and at this time we're going to call this meeting to order, and we will ask Reverend J.F. Quick if he will come around and do an invocation, and he is the pastor at the Parson Grove Missionary Baptist Church in Louisville. Good evening, Reverend.
Good evening. God bless you all. Coming today as a God-given son of Miss Nancy's servant, one of the many, but I'm top of the line. But we've come seeking God's counsel today because we know if we put Him first, all things go well. Amen. Kind Father, we come now in the name of Jesus. We come, oh God, not with a long prayer, great and swelling words, but we come with a sincere heart. We come telling you thank you for as well as it is. We look over our lives and we see how blessed we are. And God, we say thank you for it now. And now, God, we thank you for these people who think it not robbery to call on you and seek your holy guidance, oh God, for all things that they endeavor to do in Anson County. Asking, Lord, that you would bless them now. Asking, God, that you would give them guidance, strengthen them, Father, and lead them in the direction you would have them to go. And God, we pray also for our national government and leaders. We're asking, God, that you would lead and direct them in the path that you would have for them. We know that the heart of the king is in your hand. And so, God, we're asking that you would direct this country in the way that you would have it to go, and direct this county in the way you would have it to go. God, we lean on you and we depend on you, for we know that all power is given unto you, all power is in your hands, and you lose no power and lack no power. And we thank you now in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Reverend Quick, for coming to do that for us tonight, and you're welcome to stay if you like. We're glad to have you. And this time we're going to have the approval of the agenda by the commissioners, and I like to remind each commissioner, in accordance with the State Government Ethics Act, if any member have a conflict of interest or appear of a conflict, please let the board know at this time.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by aye. Aye. Okay, pass unanimous. Thank you. At this time, we have our consent agenda. We have our minutes, property tax refund and adjustments, tax collection report, and tax settlement. Do we have a motion to approve?
Chairman Streeter, I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, sir.
While we're approving it, we're going to bring up later in the meeting the tax collection.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's on the agenda.
I'm good.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by aye. Opposed? Okay, pass unanimous. At this time, we have our public addresses to the board, and we have one tonight. Ms. Maxine Stedman and Jennifer Tarleton.
At this time, I want Miss Jennifer Tarleton to come forward, please. I was always taught at an early age that to recognize people for their great work. As of yesterday, Miss Jennifer Tarleton has been with Anson County for 20 consecutive years. 20 years. And she's performed her job at the very best. And I just wanted to recognize her, and we give her a hand and tell her how much we appreciate it, what she's doing. Would you tell them where you're currently working now?
Yes, I'm currently down at the Council on Aging under the direction of Wanda Tackler. But I did work for 19 years for Anson County Child Support Enforcement under the direction of and Belinda. So, but yes, I've just now switched. So, but I have been here 20 long years, loving every minute of it.
And love you.
And there's no place like home. Born and raised here.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tarleton. And thank you for the service that you provide for Anson County.
Yes.
Okay, administrative matters, Rosalind Ingram, our HR manager.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Board.
Good evening.
Tonight I have two proposals for you for our personnel orders. The first one I would like to propose is a new employee classification for fellow. Already approved in our 1920 budget is an intern position, which is going to be defined as a fellow, and we just need to add a portion in our ordinance identifying this individual as a non-exempt employee. And this will allow us to get reimbursement from the school government for part of their salary. Does anybody have any questions?
I make a motion that we approve the position that our human resource manager just presented to us. Is that what she was here for?
Right, the young gentleman with us.
What is the position, Ms. Sterling?
It's the intern.
Intern.
Oh,
It's
the
an
intern,
intern.
sure, I'm all
School
for
of
that.
Government.
I'd second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Ah,
Opposed? Pass unanimous. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. And then my second proposal for consideration tonight is to amend our travel policy up under Appendix A, the per diem amount. I would like to propose that we adopt the standards presented by the U.S. General Service Administration. They update that yearly. In your package, you'll see what our current rate is, and then what the proposed policy is, and then you'll also see what the current rates are for North Carolina. So we're currently, as you can see, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, is $6, $8, and $15, and then the proposed rate will bring us up to $13, $14, and $23, and this will be for our employees that travel.
is that the one about per diem, food?
Yes,
Cause I
sir.
looked at that and we're way off.
Yes, sir, we are.
Our folks will have to eat at McDonald's every meal.
Yes, sir.
Or Wendy's.
So, and by doing the standard, we can, look at it every year just like we do with mileage and go by their standard rate and kind of help us stay more compliant up the times.
I make a motion that we approve the new Anson County travel policy
Second.
with per diem rates.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Those of you in the audience, if you saw these numbers, you wouldn't want to try to eat off of them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. England.
Great job.
Okay, appointments. We have, we'll take them one at a time. We got a reappointment on our tax collector, Mr. Dutton. Will you stand, please, sir?
And come forward.
You can raise your head high tonight, buddy.
We do want to thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Had good help with the ladies working with me as well.
You and your staff, we thank you. And we'll let Mr. Garner explain what the rate are to the public.
Be sure to tell them about the length of time now.
Sorry, so, excuse me. We're currently at 94.26 on the property settlement, which is the highest collection in the last 10 years. So I don't think it's certainly where we want to end up, but we are certainly trending in the right direction, and we've been going that direction for the last several years. But like Joe said, between he and his staff, that means a lot to us. It means a lot when we can budget off that number, because obviously we haven't had a lot of growth. Unfortunately, we haven't had a lot of growth. Excuse me, and it really makes it tight when we're trying to find revenue to fund things. So we do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Gary. Do we have a motion for the reappointment of Mr.
Make
So
a
moved.
motion.
Okay, second.
And just as a point of discussion, I think we still need to make sure that we're moving in the direction to get in a position where taxpayers can make electronic payments. I think that would help also in collections.
Mr. Dutton, what would it take to get that in place?
We've talked about it numerous times with those upstairs here that do that, and it's just a matter of we've got to decide to do it. There's a bullet we'll have to bite, and whether or not our web presence is suitable is where we have to be. And Carrie is probably better equipped to answer that question, or even Mr. Monroe. because we're in the, I know we've got meetings and we've been having meetings with people to do this.
Okay, currently, staff, myself, Mr. Dutton, Mr. Newton, and Carrie Gardner have been in several meetings with various different tax software companies. We've gone through at least 2 demos. We have one more demo scheduled for July 9th.
Okay.
And so we have those 3. We're looking at the best suitable for the county. As we make the ones that's best suitable for the county, we'll move forward with that.
Okay, good, thank you.
So this will be in place by next year, or?
The hope is that it will be in place. That's going to be fast. That's fast. But once we select the group we're going with, we'll start migrating things over. But it's slightly complicated because it's the tax system that we're working with, also with the finance system that we're working with. And we don't want to move too many things at the same time because we will misconnect. And so we want to get them in order what we want to do. I think we're going to go with finance first and then roll the tax in second. So that's the plan right now.
Good find, Mr. Wood.
That makes sense, finance first and then taxes.
Right, but before we moved forward with the finance package, we wanted to make sure that we were settled on the tax package.
Right.
Just so you know that the 2 of the 3 incorporate the online system, and the third one, I don't know that we would rightfully consider. Not because of that, but because of other things that we see as limitations. But that's basically what we're having.
I want to commend Mr. Dutton on how he treat my seniors when I bring them up here. Him and his little girls.
My mama raised me right.
I thought it was your principal.
I started to mention him, but I was afraid there might be a conflict of interest.
Chairman Street, I have one observation, if I may.
Okay.
First of all, I certainly support the reappointment of our tax collector, Mr. Dutton. I think he's doing an excellent job for the county. And his 2 customer service representatives are outstanding.
Yes, they
I
are.
mean, really, truly outstanding.
Well, they even speak to me when I come in.
Very definitely. Now, one observation, and I'm sure former Sheriff Allen wouldn't mind me mentioning this, but he and I were both in line during the Christmas season. Heavy property tax collection season, and there was only 1 customer service representative there, and the line was weaving outside the door. And there were some complaints. And I'd like to see us move to a position where we have 2 customer service representatives at all times during the heavy tax season. That's just a suggestion and an observation, and I hope former Sheriff Allen doesn't mind me mentioning this.
One thing Mr. Gatewood, Mr. Street and I had talked about, how do you feel about every one of the ladies learning each other's job?
It's called cross-training, and I think it's an excellent idea, and I think it's a format that we need to move to.
You need to do it.
Mr. Monroe, can you kind of look at that and see what, I know some of those girls maybe in his department would have to go and take the DMV training, but let's see if we can get that in place, and that would work. Because that time across the aisle, they're backed out the door, and the other side don't have anybody.
We can take a look at that. There are going to be issues with software. What the DMV uses and then what we use for our property tax collection are slightly different softwares. And so getting them on everyone's computer might be an issue. But we'll look into that.
Okay.
We'll look into that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gatewood. Like I said, Commissioner Stelman, I've been talking about that, and thank you for bringing it up tonight.
And there's nowhere to sit.
Absolutely.
And they that's what made me want to see, especially the ladies with Mr. Newton. There's nowhere for them to sit. Some of them seniors we bring up here is 80 and 90 years old.
Oh, sure.
And they trying to stand in the line.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
One thing I might point out, and I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm sorry, Mr. Sykes.
They're talking about, getting people money. I think we need to find a part-time person that's really smart that can do either job and let her come in like at lunchtime when things are busy. Find somebody that would be qualified and would like to do that, just work part-time and train her for both places. When somebody's had the license tag it down her, she'd be there. And when somebody was at the place in tax collector, she could be there.
We don't disagree with that, and I'm maybe speaking out of turn for Mr. Dutton here. We'll take those into consideration. There are some things behind the scenes that may be a little more difficult than just cross-training again, due to software, due to expectations set by the state and requirements to those trainings. So we will explore those options and let you know how that looks.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you. We have a motion and a second, to reappoint Mr. Joe Dutton, our tax collector. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Dutton. Thank you again for the job you're doing and your staff. Okay, we'll move on right along. We have some appointments and a recommendation from the library board to reappoint board of trustees, and we have Ms. Lucas, Ms. Williams, and Mrs. Beth.
You know, I serve as your representative there, and I move that all these be approved.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, we need a NCACC delegate to vote for us at the convention that's coming up. And do we have any volunteers?
I thought Mr. Woodman was a lifetime appointment. That's part of his job.
Yeah, that's only the job, Eric.
I appreciate you all's vote of confidence, and I'll take it if that's what the board so desires.
They asked for you.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second to appoint Mr. Woodburn as our NCACC voting delegate. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass unanimous, and thank you, Mr. Woodburn, for accepting this year. Okay, Mr. Manager, we're gonna let you give us your report.
Okay, I'll start with fee schedule. I sent this all to you on Friday, and it should be at your desk if you have a copy of it as well. There were very minimal changes that were made to the fee schedule this year for the 1920 year. The one thing that came up several times in conversation was the cell tower fee permitting, going from 2,500 and up. So I had Mr. Newton and we both looked over the surrounding regions to determine what would be an appropriate amount. We were smack dab in the middle of those cell tower fees. Union County was around 1,500, from memory. Stanley County was 1,500. There was one at 3,000, and we were at 2,500. So we wanted to go up to 5,000, as I remember. That will put us outside of our peers, and I think that might be will put us at a competitive disadvantage.
Go to 3.
Sorry.
Go to 3.
Go to 3.
I move that we go to 3.
I second that motion.
Oh, I just gave you information. It's for the board to decide what
Oh,
you want
okay.
to do. My recommendation will stay at 2,500, but if we go up to no more than 3,000.
My motion still is we go to 3.
And my second remains.
Okay. Okay, with the motion.
Nothing against you, Mr. Manager. You're doing a absolutely wonderful job.
Carrie, you good?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass unanimous. Thank you.
Okay. And then there was one other piece that was a change that wasn't talked about a lot, but it's about the emergency management services, EMS fees for ambulance transport. We have decided to move up in that. We have been notoriously lower than our peers across the southeast of the United States. So instead of going up to what the average would be, which would be over $1,000 for just a basic transport for advanced life support care, we decided to go up 40% across the board. That will still keep us very low compared to our peers across the southeast, but it will allow us to start gaining dollars back. Medicare and insurance will pay a higher rate. We just have to charge a higher rate. And so that's why I recommend we change those fees to 40% higher than what we have right now.
Move that we make that change. It's recommended by the manager.
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you.
The next thing is just for information only. December 4th, I believe this was before I got here, right around that time I was announced here. Mike Sessions was commissioned or went out to have a site analysis done for the water department. That space needs assessment is now complete. You should be at your desk now so you can read through it. It itemizes out what are some issues with that facility and then proposes some solutions with that. It gives you also a cost that comes along with it, which is significant. In short, to replace that building or to provide a building, it's going to be 2.8 acres is what they're looking at a cost of $3.2 million. Now, that sounds like a lot of money, and I will caution that we don't do anything right now, but look at it in the totality. We are in the midst of doing a 10-year capital improvement plan right now. So I would like to include this study inside our 10-year capital plan, so we'll know how much we need to start preparing for in the next 2 fiscal years, within the next 2 fiscal years. Yes, sir.
What about the hospital site, the old hospital site?
Oh, we haven't decided on what to do with the hospital site.
2.3 million, you know, is a lot of money, Madison County, if we could use that.
In regards to selling the hospital site?
In regards, if we use it, we'll save 2.3
Oh, I got
million.
you. I was like, okay, I got you. That's open for discussion. That's open for discussion. I don't have any.
It's not something that would be bad put in that spot.
Well, I think there's some things that we need to consider in regards to this building. Do we want to retain all of the functions that we have now? People want to have a drive-through. We have to ensure that we have a drive-through. We want to make sure, do we want to have billing there? Do we want to have billing co-located with DMV, tax? So it's a one-stop shop for people to come pay their bills. We have to decide what we want the building to look like. Location, I'm open to locations. That's not a bad spot.
Well, now, if you put someone else in there, now, the water fund will pay for the water department, I'm correct, right?
Yes, sir.
How about the others? If you put something else in that building, would you have to?
Well, I'm thinking of maybe central building is in this location. Some people can come up here, it's one-stop shop, or it could be in another place. But these are all just ideas. I think these are things we need to talk about before we decide moving forward if we're going to build a building. We need to build for what's needed as opposed to what we currently have. That study shows us that we are deficient in some things. We're not ADA compliant in some of the restrooms. It's visitor and staff parking commingled, and we don't want to do that. There's a lot of things that in that study that shows us that we need to work on solving, and we need to itemize that, clear that out. So I think that's primary first, but I don't want to jump into building a building when we have a lot of other capital needs as well for the water department. But the Morgan site, the old hospital site, is a consideration.
There's another site, Dr. Sims, and I think Morgan Road site is a possibility. I think the neighbors in that area may have some problems with the truck traffic and the pipes. It's sort of unsightly. But the Anson High School Road.
There's a couple different ways to get to it, but go ahead.
Sure. The Anson High School Road property, south of the Armory. You know, county has acreage there, and I'm sure we could carve out 3 to 5 acres for the water department.
But you talking about those big trucks gonna be coming by school buses too.
I understand.
Like I say, we could look at both sides, but Mr. Gabriel, if you use the hospital for the office part of it, you still keep storage down at the old site, couldn't you?
That's a possibility.
Keep the pipes and all in that location.
I think we're getting into some nitty-gritty details, probably prematurely. We probably need to give the county manager an opportunity to develop this capital program, and then we start talking about the specifics at another
I
meeting.
think you're absolutely correct. I have a quick question, totally off base, but it's for Anson County, the reason I asked. I can't remember, I'm sorry. When was the celebration of the eclipse in Anson County? And Waynesboro was the #1 place to view the eclipse. So 19 what? Anybody know? It was early 1900.
1900, 1903. It's on the thing out here that the town of Waysboro put up.
Okay, the reason I ask is because South America's having that eclipse today, and I was hoping that we would be the same day so we could celebrate.
Okay, Mr. Manager, you can bring us something back at a later date. How
Yes.
you want to go with this?
I would appreciate that. By early September, mid-September, we should have that 10-year CIP, capital improvement plan, finished, in which again we will add this to that list of major capital improvements, so we'll have a better discussion then.
And if any of the board members see something that this space needs further assessment, you can get up to the county man, I'm sure he can explain it to you.
I think as has already been stated, the key is to getting this 10-year capital plan put together and get all the projects on it, and that way we don't have any, I'm trying to think of a good term. We've already had a couple of false starts. No, I'm thinking about the false starts we've had where we've spent probably close to $500,000 and nothing has happened. We don't need to do that again.
And my last thing was just bringing up the census. We had Dr. Rimbert come here in early April in regards to the census and charging us to develop a complete count committee, CCC. We are in the process of developing that group. We are looking at having 15 to 20 people on that group. There's some county employees, citizens, chamber members right now, and they're all volunteers. It's unpaid, and we want to get together a group for to ensure that our least counted, our undercounted demographics are going to be counted. And those undercounted groups are traditionally minorities, people of foreign language, Spanish particularly. There's also the disabled and the elderly, also tend to be undercounted in the census. So in developing this complete count committee, we're looking at people who can reach out to those specific communities and then spread the word. August 13th will be our first meeting as a group. Right now we're in the beginning. I have about 1/3 of the group created, and we'll develop more as we move forward to August 13th.
A great deal of our outside money is based on the census, isn't that correct?
Correct.
So we don't want to count even one person.
Yes, right.
There's another underrepresented or undercounted segment of our population, and that's children and infants.
Yes.
Oftentimes, parents don't see them as adults, or they need to report
Sure.
them. They should report them.
And I would like to add one more thing on a positive note. I had a conversation with the Vice President of Finance at the South Carolina Community College earlier today, Michelle Brock. And she brought to my attention that something I think the board should hear is that Wingate University and SPCC have engaged in a very strong and very powerful partnership. Recently, they've announced that if you are a student who receives, and if you don't mind, if I go off the rails, if you correct me, they've engaged in this partnership that if you're a student who receives an associate's degree from SPCC, you can go to Wingate and have a maximum tuition cost of $2,500. You go in there as a junior because you receive your associate's degree from SPCC. Those transfer credits transfer all the way over. You spend a year of school, it's $2,500 for tuition. Your next senior year, $2,500 for tuition. So $5,000 in tuition if you receive your SPC associate's degree and enroll in Lincoln.
Wow, let's encourage everybody to do that. You're talking about a savings of 2 years, you probably talking about $100,000. Is that about right, 100,000?
I don't think it's quite that high, but it's.
We say 80?
Savings. We think that's about a 75% discount. for
Okay.
Wingate.
Nellie, you gonna put that in the newspaper?
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Mr. Street, I do have a question for the county manager and perhaps even the finance director. And I'll be asking this question at every meeting between now and December of 2019. And that is, I'd like a quick progress report of the status of our fiscal year 2017, 2018, and fiscal year 2018, 2019 financial audits.
I'll address that if you don't mind. So there is a General Accounting Standard Board report called the GASB 75, which is a report on our post-employment benefits. That report was an every other year report, which is now an annual report. The deadline on that report is 7/23, so 3 weeks from today. So we should be wrapping up right after that. They're already working on the valuation. We don't have the final numbers, obviously, because the year just ended for the the 19 year end, which would the valuation date is 12/31/18. They're already working on the requirement for our law enforcement for 1918 obviously is already done. But anyway, so soon after the 23rd, then you will see 18 completed. Then the AFR for 17 can be adjusted and 18 update. 18 entered, 17 adjusted, and then we'll roll right into working on 19.
And what is the current target date for completing 19?
The December the 1st. First week of December.
All right, thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, so all of these things that kind of have to, when we use outside valuation companies, because we don't have the ability, no one has the ability to do it in-house, and everybody's doing it outside, you're kind of getting in line with everybody else. So what we're trying to do is stay in line so that the reporting cycle, it's a 12-week lead, so that we have what the auditor needs and they're not waiting on that for 19. So we're already trying to establish everything for 19 valuation while they're completing 18.
Excellent, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And if you see any slippage in that target date,
Mm.
please let us know just as soon as possible.
Sure.
Thank
And
you.
now again, typically what happens is after they will finish, they will present to the board, should be the the August meeting. After that, then that's when you'll see the AFRA updates. So that wouldn't be done until it's presented, because at that point it's considered still a draft.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Garner, for that report, and Mr. Gable, thank you for bringing it up.
I have a question for our manager too. You were saying that about the group you're getting together for the census report. Do you have any ministers or pastors or churches on that?
We have not reached out to them. No, and that's part of the community that I don't know that well. So I have not reached out to them just yet on that.
We have one here tonight that's gonna volunteer right now to get on that board.
Reverend Quick.
For real, for real.
Thank you. I don't have a report tonight, but we'll move right along to commissioners' concern, petition, announcement, and comments.
I got one.
Sykes.
I know this is mighty late to bring it up, but I didn't realize until last week when the 4th of July was. But I want us to give the county employees Friday off too with July the 4th. I know some county employees may have obligations already that they may have to be here. If they do have to, we'll give them another day off and they can pick when they want it to be. I make a motion that we do that.
I second.
Okay, now, if they had to take another day off, I think we need to add to that. They gotta take it within 30 days.
Oh, okay. Make the motion again.
Okay, they take their day off within 30 days.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Thursday will be the 4th of July, and we want to give our employees Friday off, and the ones that have to work on Friday, they can take another day off within 30 days.
I have a question, or at least a comment, and that is, I support doing this, by the way, but I think it's an excellent suggestion. If we're gonna do it, I think we need to do it on a regular routine basis. And anytime there's a holiday on a Thursday, county employees will get paid Friday off.
I agree.
Major holiday.
Yes, well, the point, I think we need to revise our personnel ordinance to reflect that, if that's the board's.
Yeah, they would have made a whole lot different plans. They know this gonna have a 4-day weekend and.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'd like to amend your motion, and not only this Thursday off, in recognition of Friday being the 4th of July, but anytime there is a holiday that falls on a Thursday, county employees will get Friday off as a paid vacation, a holiday, paid holiday on a regular basis, and that we update our personnel ordinance to reflect it.
Okay.
Do you want to say state and national recognized holiday or anything like that?
Well, we have a list of paid holidays.
Okay, we've got our own list, okay.
So that list still applies.
All right. Good.
This is the one.
We have our HR director here tonight, manager. If you and the county manager would get it updated and at a later date bring it back to us and we can vote on it and get it amended to our personnel ordinance.
And, Mr. Chairman, the 2020 holiday list that Ms. Cannon gave to us, the only ones in 2020 is Thanksgiving and Christmas. But next year.
And we already have it in that, we already have it in
already
that,
have it.
those 2 days.
Mhm.
All right, have we got to vote on that?
Yes, sir. Okay, we have a motion on the floor. I hope everyone understand it. Anyone in the public audience that don't understand it, just ask us and we'll repeat it. And I guess we have a motion and a second. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Y'all get 2 days off. And like I said, if y'all bring something back to us, we can get that update. Any other concerns?
I don't have any concerns, but I'd like to congratulate all of the Anson High School class of 2019. And congratulations to Superintendent Freeman and his staff for a wonderful graduation ceremony on Saturday, June 8th. The ceremony obviously reflected excellent planning and organizational skills, and everything was well done, and had a cold bottle of water at every seat, which was a really nice touch on a very warm day as it turned out. Even the weather coordinated and cooperated with us, and I enjoyed it. I hadn't been to a high school graduation in probably 15 years, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Commissioner Stedman, Chairman Streeter, Vice Chairman Woodburn were also in attendance, and we were treated like VIPs. And some of the rest of you may have been there. The stands were full and overflowing.
I hope the bottle of water wasn't like the watermelon down in Pageland, not Pageland, but down in Morden. Farmer, and this is supposed to be a true story. Farmer down there was having trouble people stealing his watermelons. So he put up a sign. One of these watermelons is poisonous. The next morning he came by and there was another sign that said 2 of these watermelons are poisonous. So be careful about those bottles. Might be vodka in one of them.
Chairman Streeter, one other notation, and that is I attended the Extension Service Volunteer Appreciation Event on June 24th from 5:30 to 7:30 that night. And as we all know, agriculture is big business in Anson County. It's growing and it plays a very important role in our economy and in the county budget. So the Extension Service plays an important, great role in making agriculture successful, not only in Anson County, but in our region. And I just want to applaud our Extension Service Director, Ms. LaShonda Terry, for a rewarding and enjoyable event. And then lastly, I just want to wish everyone a happy, safe, and enjoyable 4th of July.
Thank you. Now, we do thank you, Ms. Terry, for that
Yes, great job.
job you're doing down there.
Great job.
We got to pass this out to you all.
Thank you.
Okay, night out. Sheriff Reed, do you want to talk about this?
Yes, sir. It's the National Night Out that we have every year. We started it last year. The Anson County Sheriff's Office took it up, and Wadesboro Police Department also was with us. Last year, Commissioner Sturtevant and Commissioner Woodburn came to it, and that's just. And this year we're planning on taking a whole block and doing things. We're gonna, since the Sheriff's Office don't have funds for it, we're gonna look for sponsors for it. But it's gonna be a good event. It's mainly for everybody, but we do things for the kids. Have a lot of events for the kids, face painting and all kind of things for them. Can I ask one question?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman? Friday, is that considered a paid holiday or?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Because you know the Sheriff's Office, we do have to work.
Yeah,
Not the office part, but the road part.
but they can take another day.
Take another day and it'll be paid.
Okay, thank you. Any questions about that?
Remember, 30 days, they gotta take within 30 days.
Okay, okay. But I hope everybody get a chance to come out because this is something's for the whole county. So, thank you.
And you also have another staff that's working too, right?
Sir?
You have 911 staff also that have to work.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
That looks staggered.
In jail.
Okay.
In jail staff.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Jackson.
Out of fear of being tarred and feathered, I'm not gonna come to the podium, but I would just like clarification on what's supposed to be happening on Friday.
Okay. We're gonna give the employees Friday off as a holiday, paid holiday.
Okay.
So if you have staff that's already asked to be off, taking some kind of leave, they won't have to take leave. They can take this as it'll be like a paid holiday.
So the agency will be closed July 4th and July 5th
Yes, ma'am,
to the public.
to the public.
Okay, and anyone that has scheduled leave for the 5th will have an opportunity to take another.
No,
paid
they
day.
already taken another day. They don't have to take that day. They don't have to show it as sick or vacation.
Okay.
Because it's already a holiday.
Okay, all right, thank you.
That won't cause no problem with you going back, changing it, will it? You haven't turned it in, they haven't done a time sheet yet, have they?
Not for Friday, that hasn't been done.
Okay, so it will be a paid holiday for all employees.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Anything else need to come before the board tonight? If not, thank you for coming out and wish all you a happy 4th of July.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Ah,
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you.
good job, Jim. Mr. Kim.